Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Here we go live for a short shifts episode. 10 minutes are on the clock. Jeffrey Lavecchio has no idea what the topic is going to be. But Jeff, should you choose to accept this topic, I think we're going to have some fun today. Are you ready to go, my friend?
What would you say if I said I choose not to accept this topic?
I would say, okay, that sucks. I have 10 minutes to talk about it myself. Here we go.
Let's go. I choose to accept.
Okay. So I want to talk about 2-on-1s, but I want to talk about it from the defensive side. So not a ton of experience for either of us as players. You being the shooter, me being the passer. Love the 2-on-1s offensively, but I want to talk about how to play 2-on-1s defensively. So what do you think, man?
I always like asking the goalie what they want. Whoever your goalies are, what do you like? You know, and
what do they typically tell you?
Give me the shooter. Don't let them backdoor me. No matter what, I have no chance if they backdoor me. If you let a backdoor seam pass happen, the odds of me saving it are very low. I want it to be on me. You know, if you want a deck or slide or whatever at the very last second, but no matter what, whatever you do not let them backdoor me. So I, as a coach, always would make my goalies say that in the beginning of the year. For 2-on-1s, goalies, what do you guys like? What do you want? It's always that answer, no matter what. I think I've had one goalie in my whole life that I've talked to about that and is like, I don't really care. Like, you know, whatever, I'll take whatever. And he really didn't care. But every other goalie that I've asked that is always like, just don't give them a breakaway in on me, but also don't let them backdoor me is the big one. So for me, I ask the goalies that, and then if that's what the goalies say, then we play it the way they want. Unless they start getting lit up on 2-on-1s, then we'll do whatever I want as the coach. But
has any goalie ever said not to take the shooter?
Yeah, there was one goalie that I actually played with who was like, no, I don't. He was like, I don't want you guys to only take the back door. Like, I want you to play it like a 2-on-1, and whatever happens, like happens. I don't want you to just really shade to the open guy. I always like, and I think it's the hardest as a guy who's on the 2-on-1 is, reverse engineering it. I always think it's hard when the D-man obviously has a very good stick, understands spatial awareness, has a good gap, and shades to the open guy, so the guy without the puck first. But as you get closer and closer to the net, the really good ones find a way to make you take a worse angle or slide at the absolute perfect time and you can't get the puck through, or, you know, like those are the hardest guys to play against, who don't allow that pass. And at the last second, they jump over to you and do a good job with their stick or their body or whatever.
Shafe used to call it cat and mouse. You're kind of playing cat and mouse, you know, between the shooter and the passer, and, you know, not letting the shooter have a breakaway by shading so far over to the guy without the puck, but not going right over. Yeah. And one thing I will add too is you have to understand hands and what hand the shooter is and what hand the non-shooter is, because then when you talk about angles, you can take your stick and apply some pressure depending on the handedness of the player. And like, that's a big deal. Like, I think about like youth hockey, right? And I think about like, if the player who doesn't have the puck is on their backhand side, so you're like a righty going down your left wing side, and you don't open up for a one-timer, go right to the guy with the puck. He's not going to score on a pass to the backhand. He's just not. No player skilled enough at that level to do that, right? So like shoulder check and scan, like who's coming, what hand are they, and if they are going to the net on their backhand, like that's a very low percentage play to be able to get that. Now, if that guy opens up for a one-timer, Now that's a different story. That's a much different story. Now you got to try to keep your stick in that lane with that person where they're at. I think, and what I will say too, from an offensive standpoint, I know we're talking about defense, but this is kind of relevant right now. My biggest pet peeve, and you see this in youth hockey all the time offensively on a 2-on-1, is when the player with the puck is going down like the dot lane, and then the guy without the puck kind of like curls into the defenseman's shot lane.
Idiot.
So it's like a drop pass, and then like all the defenseman does is just like stand there and like puts his stick on it. Like don't do that. Stop. That makes it so easy for the D. And how often you coach youth hockey for a couple of years? How often do you see that?
Yeah, a lot of stupidity. Like you gotta be playing checker, or you gotta be playing chess, and the other guy's playing checkers. And if you're both playing chess, out chess the D man. If you're the D man, out chess the forwards. Like it's all about angles. Like Toph said, we brought up angles. Like you gotta know where it's easier to score from, and also what areas offensively on the ice, and as a defenseman, what areas does the shooter want to be in because he has more options. What puck position on his stick and shoulder and body position. Like Toph said, if you're the guy carrying the puck and you stick handle it over to your backhand, if you're the D-man and you see that,
easy peasy.
You like get over there with your stick out and your body like taking away the passing lane, because again, that's a way harder pass. And it could just be as simple as they just went to stick handle and you timed it perfectly because they don't have their shoulders set. They're not open up. These are things that you've got to be looking at on the defensive side, and things conversely on the offensive side, you have to know that they're looking for. And then you're both trying to fake each other out. D-men, the fake poke check are really good, especially at the younger ages. A really good like fake C cut with a fake poke check usually gets a lot of forwards to bite at the younger ages and make a play that they don't want to make a play. And then you're there right away to turn around and go the other way.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Another thing is like, if they're wide, like if they're outside the dot lane, let them stay out there.
Let them stay.
No need for you to go chase there, because then that's going to open up ice for the player without the puck, and you're kind of getting out of position. So like your job is like take away the guts of the ice. Like if they are out, like let them stay out. The funny part about 2-on-1s, you'll get, and I've witnessed this, like you get a bunch of like high level coaches with a couple beers in them, and you talk about the slide on a 2-on-1, you'll get some heated debate. Should you slide?
Oh,
Should you not slide?
Sure.
Should you slide? Should you not slide? At Cornell, they taught to slide, and it like worked really well. You have to be really good at it though, and you have to practice it a lot. You have to understand when to do it and when not to do it. So many players will slide way too early, and then the player will just go right around them and pass it, or they'll just sauce it over your stick, or they'll just take it and go right around you, But like the time to slide is like if you see that the player is like wide and they don't have other options, they now have to pass the puck like because they're at a bad angle to be able to shoot, then that's typically a better time to slide. But like, yeah, I don't know if you're a fan or not. I think if you're good at it, it could be a useful tool, but there are some people that will say, never do it. Don't ever do it, because like the higher the levels that you go, like the players will sniff that out a little bit more. And in the pre-scouts, right? Like that's how detailed some pre-scouts can be. Like, hey, this team, they're taught to slide on 2-on-1s. So if you get one, like wait for him to slide and then do your thing. So yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on the slide?
When I was younger, I hated it because a lot of guys weren't good at sliding. Like on my team that would do it, I'd see them get beat all the time because they didn't time the slide well. When I got to like juniors in college, guys were way better at it and they did a good job. But then you get to pro and the offensive guys are so freaking good offensively that unless you're unbelievable at sliding, or faking the slide and then sliding when they bobble it or whatever.
You don't see it at the NHL level.
You don't see it as much because guys can pick it apart. And if you do slide, your body is out of control. Like if it goes off you and they get it back, like it's really hard to get up quickly.
That's the biggest negative to sliding, is that you're taking yourself out of the play. And potentially, if you're not good at it, like if you're going back with some speed, you might run into your goalie and like then the goalie gets run into and now he's out of position and now it's like an empty net. Easy.
Right.
Easy
You
tackle.
know, so I'd say like I'd way more leave it up to individuals, because if you have an individual who's nasty at it, by all means, you're nasty at it. Do it. Little Johnny, you suck at it.
No,
Let's
I
stop
think you
doing
got
it.
it. Like you have to practice it a lot. You have to practice a lot with your team to be able to do it. Okay. 15 seconds left. The last thing I'll say defensively, 2-on-1s, is recognize the pressure of your back checker coming back too. So like a 2-on-1 can come into a 2-on-2. And then what I always tell my teach, I'm going past 10, whatever, like, cause this is important. Like, you are the general out there. If you're taking a 2-on-1 or you're taking even a 3-on-2 and you have back checkers coming that now we got to sort some stuff out. Like, you are the general. You are the one that sees the play. You have to be the one that's communicating both verbally and non-verbally with your hands. You got him. I got him. You like take him, whatever it may be. And you know, at the higher levels, there's a plan to everything on accepting a rush with that stuff. But like, you like understanding the pressure of the back checker and then sorting that out, making a potential 2-on-1 into a 2-on-2 is so big, because if you don't do it well, you make a 2-on-1 really easily into a 1-on-0 breakaway. So be the general, point it out, communicate. That's all I got. I know we went a little bit over, but that was a big one. So
Share the show.
Share the show. Good job, Vechs.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.